Alright, got it.
Gosh. Right, hello, good evening everybody, and welcome back to another instalment of the Ultimate Esports Championship. You join us, it's our third and final episode of the week. It's Tier S, it's the 6th round of the season. We'll be halfway through our European leg after this one. It is with great pleasure to welcome one of the NRX managers, a well-renowned graphics designer, and just an all-round good guy. It's none other than NRX Loveland. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you, Joseph. Very heartwarming entrance. I'm absolutely great. Excited to be back. Last time I commentated was with you in NRC, and that was, well, I think we had one of the best battles I've seen this game. So hopefully we get more of that tonight. Got a very good grid, and yeah, very excited.
Absolutely. We'll get into some of the championship drama in just a moment. But 1 week on from that event in Silverstone, where we had a sprint, and we also had a Grand Prix with a late safety car, and it was very, very entertaining. I did take the final 3 laps by myself. I was almost on my own again this evening, but you've come to save the day because,
Of course.
I got the man flu again on Tuesday.
Oh no.
And I'm just on the back end of it, so we're getting there. This might do me more harm than good, but indeed, good evening, Corey, and everybody in the live chat this evening. I noticed we passed the grand old 500 followers on the AEC Twitch channel, so that was absolutely fantastic, and thank you to everyone that is tuning in so far. Right, Austria then, short and sweet. Will we see any of those 1-minute threes this evening, though it is looking a bit overcast?
I think we'll see a few 1-minute threes, I'm not going to lie. I think a few of the PSR guys, maybe Stonks, could get a point free. Oh, in the free, sorry. Rusty's definitely got one in him, and so does Levi. Not even being biased, just going off practice. So I think if all goes well, I think we'll see a few 1-3s, which to BXM's dismay, he will have to jump out his window if we see a 3.8. So yeah, let's see what happens. But Rusty will be the first man on a lap. Gets a slight tow, actually, from the Ferrari ahead of him, so that he's not going to complain too much. What is his first sector split? It's a 15.9, which is very strong for your first run. Now getting the traction down, very tricky corner, but he nails it very nicely. Open the DRS. Now it's a bit of a kind of long run down to turn 4. We got a break just under the bridge. And he gets it turned in very nicely, looking like a very clean lap. Maybe a bit cautious on the exit, but it is your first run. You don't need to take too many risks. Fling it in, and now power down as early as you dare, and he's done it very nicely. It's a 44-6 split, so looking like a pretty strong banker for the rest to try and match. Allison is out the session. Once again, I'll try and get him back in once this run is done, but coming through to the final 2 corners, flings it in, misses the apex just a tiny bit, and now coming through the final corner, uses all the track on the exit, and the banker for everyone to beat is a 1-minute 4.1. We're not far off on threes already.
Absolutely, a really good lap time there. Joe Murphy, who's gone super well for BRT this season. The team that sit 3rd in the championship, above NRX by just a singular point, half crossing the line. Said he was going to do a 3.9 this evening. It's a 4.7 to kickstart him. Ogween, unlike his teammate, is able to get out there on the track straight away and puts in a 104.8. PSR Stonks up onto the front row provisionally with a 104.231. And something else that might require a little bit of bias, or maybe not. It is probably appropriate to talk about last week and how NRX went from top of the standings to 4th. What was it, a 7-point haul, a double jump start in the sprint? It's one of those races where you've just got to forget about it and go again, isn't it?
Yeah, not really much I could say. It was just an absolute, I don't want to swear, but it was a poo show, we will say. But yeah, we're going to try and bounce back, come back stronger, because as you said, we did go from top by 29 points to 4th by 26. So quite the drop, but you know, that's what, these things happen for a reason. We'll come back stronger, and hopefully tonight we can prove what we've been working on.
Levi now heading down into the penultimate corner. Lovely run through there, just missing the sausage curb on the inside, which can cause A little bit of destabilisation, and across the line goes Levi, and it's a good 4th place to kickstart his qualifying session. The Shazoo guys going at it, an invalidation for Maris so far. Rev Caterpillar out there as well, a popular face amongst the community for a future racing team that you know, are nearly 3 years into their cycle. They're doing a really good job. The longevity should be appreciated more, I reckon.
Yeah, they did have a bit of a period where nothing was really going on, but as we've gone through this game cycle, it looks like they've made a bit of a resurgence with NVR closing, picking up a lot of drivers that dropped out with the closure of that. So yeah, FRT looking good. P6 in the standings, just behind Valor by 9 points, and I think they could definitely take the challenge to them tonight. Half P11. And Rev has just replaced him in P11 with a 4.6, and Allison down in 18th, Ogween down in 13th. So advantage FRT at the moment.
Absolutely tight in that midfield, just a 100th separating VSR Egger from Rev Caterpillar. Always on the lookout for VSR Egger. He's a big fan of me, so I'm a big fan of him. It's a mutual respect we're developing now, and I'm here for it. Elite Risks as well, another superstar in the making for Summit League Racing Team up there in P6. They'll be hoping for the team 7th out of the active teams. Of course, there are the likes of AEM, Novus Racing in there that will slowly lose their places as we get into the second half of the season. They'll be hoping to get even higher than they already are. Both Shazoo drivers, though, no laps on the board so far. I wonder how being out of sync could impact their qualifying session.
Yeah, 19th and 20th, a back row lockout at the moment, and they are currently bottom of the standings, so they really do need a bit of a high five or a hand up just to get the ball rolling, because they are behind a few teams, even the ones that have dropped out of the tournament, so yet to really get on the board. And SLR, as you mentioned, they've come out of nowhere really at the moment, qualified for World, and ever since then they've been putting in great results left, right and centre. So definitely a dark horse. It's only a matter of time before we see a shock result of them winning a race, whether that be in AEC, World. It's going to happen at some point, so only a matter of time before they get to prove that.
I think the BRT Tier S story is something that they could take great inspiration from as well. 3 consecutive podiums now for Bunga Racing Team, who, like I mentioned, sit just 1 point above the former championship leaders NRX, and maybe they'll go 4 from 4 this evening. Liam Bowman coming around the final corner to start another lap, and he sits 3rd at the moment. A fantastic lap from the Scotsman, who calls a fleece a fleecy. I just thought I'd throw that in as a fact. Oh, he's lost it.
I was about
Never
to say,
mind.
there's a fact for you. Liam Bowman has spun at turn 1. We can confirm that is a fact, as Levi just about to start a lap as well. Have we got anyone on laps? I think, no, Sasha out lap. I think we've just got a lot of out lap glitches at the moment. Egger is the 10th up. I know you're a big Egger fan, so you want to go on board with him. Coming through to the final 2 corners, this is where you can make or break your lap. You can gain massively, you can also lose massively. Flings it in. Uses quite a lot of curb, and he's going to run wide. It hasn't invalidated, so I don't want to say anything. But coming to the line, he improves by a 10th and goes into P9 with an off track. As Julian goes P8. Bish bash bosh.
Absolutely. Egger was just 1,000th better than Sasha Andre there, so I'm going to bring out the phrase, every 1,000th counts, yeah, blah, 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 but it does. Austria are shortest lap of the entire season. There's nothing more that really needs to be said about that one. Who else have we got out there? It's a little bit of a mess with the outlap glitches. I'm just having a cycle. It's Rusty coming around the final corners to start his lap. PSR Stonks exiting the pit lane, so PSR Kai will also about to go on a flying lap. Harv, we'll stick with Harv because he's a 10th up and he's heading round turn 4 at the moment, and he's a confident man. I think he went from 20th to 5th last night in WOR Tier 3, so he's capable of a comeback, but he is also capable of converting a good qualifying session. So into the final couple of corners then, 4 half, 2, 3, 4, be hoping to beat his teammate, though they do want to work together as much as they can. Half round to the final corner then, and crossing the line, he goes up to 4th. That is more like it, and a really good lap there from Half.
Yeah, very good from Harv. I always got a bit of extra respect for Harv, you know, being a pad driver myself. Yeah, it's quite
Mm.
crazy how they can be so quick because I'm just not. I don't understand how they do it. Someone who seems to be struggling is Levi. He invalidated his first proper run, so that first run you see there is on old tyres, and he mucked up at turn 1 on his last run. So he's doing a lap on used tyres, and he's not improving currently. As Kai is one who's improving, he goes into P2. And he's really putting the pressure on my boys here in P2 and P3. And Levi seems to not be able to hook up the lap as well as he wants to. And he comes around the final corner now. I don't think it's going to be an improvement. We're going to see now. Comes to the line. It's a 4.237. He goes 6 thousandths behind Stonks. It's so close at the top.
As we sort of expected, NRX and PSR right in amongst the top few positions there, but don't count out the likes of Liam Bowman, Harv, Joe Murphy, who's I think he's about to come and start another lap. So we'll keep on board with Joe Murphy here, the driver who is currently, and let me get the standings up for you, 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. Granted, he's 48 points behind Rusty. It would be a thrilling achievement to go on and finish behind arguably the 2 best drivers on the platform at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Rusty is in really good runner form qualifying wise, but the races haven't quite gone his way recently. But BRT are really really resurgent. I don't know where it's come from, because Magician, you know, he was their star boy at one point, and seems to have motivated them since he left. And they've got star boys coming out of nowhere. Got Furious, Joe Murphy. There was one more that I can't see, and Rusty goes P1 with a 1 minute 3.9. Ever so close to that 0.8, but that is our first 103, and I don't think it will be the last.
Joe Murphy about half a tenth up in the middle sector as he rides the inside curb at turn 8, just trying to get everything out of this lap. Bit of a bumpy outside curb there, but he uses it to his advantage into the final corner. Uses 4th just to get the front end in. Nice and tight to the line then, and he does improve by about a tenth. It's a really good lap. What's that? 6 drivers on a 104.2. Aston Martin off there. That's Elite Risks. I believe that was to start his flying lap. I believe he ran wide, hit the sausage curb, and just looped it around. It's so easy to do.
Yeah, it really is. Stonks, I think, has backed out of his lap as well. No improvement on the board for him. I think we're at that bit of a lull before the final runs at the moment, because it doesn't seem to be anyone on a lap. Or is Egger on a lap once again? Yes, he is. He's come through the middle split. He's a 10th up once again. He really needs a good lap, because quite unlike Egger, he's quite far down the order. We usually see him fighting right at the top. And I think on a grid like this, it should be more than capable of getting in the top 8. Comes round to the final corner. He's got to maximise all the track if he can, which he does very nicely. And he comes to the line. And it's still not amazing. It's P10, but VSR in 9 points off the lead, I believe. They'll be wanting a bit more.
Yeah, spot on. 5th and 10th. No sprint race this week, of course, so all the points will be scored in the Grand Prix. Track position is going to be valuable in 5th and 10th. Yeah, it could be better when your main rivals are up, occupying 1st to 4th. Ogween, 9 thousandths up. I believe he's backed out on this particular lap. So, who have we got? Have we got Harv on a flying lap? No, he's backed out, or maybe on an in-lap as well. So, we're just waiting patiently then. We've had some ASMR Tom in. I don't know how I've been mistaken for a Scouser, but I'll take it. He'll pay you back on Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
Hold on. What? Sorry, I must have missed what you just said. All I heard was Scouser and Tom. So, gave you a bit of a giggle. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, ASMR Tom is a
I'm not familiar with this term.
command with the channel points.
Oh, is it?
So you can put channel points in. You have like ASMR Tom, Request a Brett, you know, all that good stuff. Request a Brett is 600 points.
I'm gonna request a Brett right now. What is request a Brett?
It's where Brett gives you odds.
Is Brett even here?
I don't think so. He's probably at John Lewis.
That's very poor from him. Oh, we've got a request a Brett from Magician. Come on, Brett, where are you?
I can't fulfill those.
Oh, there's 2 request a Bretts. We've never needed
brilliant.
Brett more. The people need you, Brett. Well, anyway. That's something to put. Okay, okay. We have a lot of Bretts.
They're all coming in. They're all coming in. This is how
Oh
you
God.
keep the viewers entertained.
Error. Can I request a Brett on an NRX12? You absolutely cannot. That bet is closed. In quali, no, you can't.
The betting is suspended because it's so
suspended.
likely.
No. No. If any time I have any expectation, something goes wrong. So I'm just gonna. That's why I wanted to commentate. Just non-biased perspective.
Non-biased.
Just enjoy the race.
E.T. Louis redeeming Douche Spurken.
Oh,
I believe that means German speaking. Hang on.
What's going on here?
Shazoo have crashed.
Um,
I have no idea what's happened.
I sense a few cries for a restart after this session.
Tough. Yep. Anyway, a race roller up into the first corner then. He's the first one around and I'm picking him out because look at the traffic. There's an Alpine just in front of him, always pulling to the right hand side. You've got to be careful when you do that. Those drivers aren't always giving you a slipstream. They're just simply trying to get out of the way, and if you mistime it, onus is on the driver behind to move off, essentially. But Race Roller still going at it here. Good 5, 6, 7 cars in front of him, which he might have to weave his way through as they all back off into the blind penultimate corner. And the single file final corner. Another Alpine getting out of the way. They've been fairly cooperative with him. But now it's a Red Bull on the left-hand side, also making way in 4/100ths down. Here's Race Roller for Summit League Racing Team, who's 17th at the moment, so needs a big improvement into the final corner. Down to 6th then for Race Roller, keeping it well within track limits. Might have picked up a bit of understeer in the final corner, so for Race Roller it doesn't look particularly promising. It isn't, only a 700th improvement for the man in 17th.
Yeah, not enough for SLR to move up any positions, so unfortunate for Race Roller. His teammate up in P8, Elite Risks, really come out of nowhere at the moment on Xbox, and he's doing a great job right in the mix. Joe Murphy also on the lap, let's see. He's half a tenth down in Sector 1, but he's half a tenth up in Sector 2, and that would currently bump him up to P3. Just half a tenth goes up from P7 to P3. So, can Joe Murphy now this final section of corners? He does the first right very nicely, but misses the apex on the final corner. Will it still be enough to get into P3? It's not. He loses all his time, and that costs him 4 positions, which is really going to hurt in the race.
Absolutely, Stonks just improving recently as well to dip into the 4.1s. It's not enough for him. Now his teammate Kai has got to do the work, and it looks like he's backed out as well on this lap. So PSR Kai won't improve. Levi to cross the line and goes up onto the front row. It's an NRX front row lockout as it stands, much to the delight of my co-commentator Loveland. Who else is out there then? TVA Allison slowing down. TVA Ogween crossing the line. He's just started a lap. Shazoo Julian, is he going to go again here? There was certainly contact on the outlap for the Shazoo guys. Patrick Leger has just started his final fly lap, so we'll flick on through quickly back to Kai, who is going to have another go. Stonks staying out there, I believe, just to be that helping hand with the slipstream. But the more important thing is they are able to go again, though this one will be on used tyres.
Yeah, used tyres for Stonks. Kai and Rusty. He bottled his first one. Elite Risk comes to the line. P7, not too bad for the SLR driver. We've got a Mercedes in the final sector. I'm trying to find who that is. That's Liam Hardman. He's pitting. So, who is our next driver on a lap? Just scrolling through. It looks like it's Ogween, and he's a 10th up. So that would currently bump him up to P10, just alongside his teammate Allison, unless he has a really good final sector and gets in the mix with the BRT drivers ahead. But comes to the final corner, bit wide, but uses all the track available, comes to the line. What's it going to be for Ogween? Yep, as predicted, P10. So BRT got the upper hand on Valor here.
Absolutely, half qualifying a respectable 6th there at the def, and PSR Kai is almost 3/10 down as Rusty improves yet again to cement his place on pole position, it looks like, because PSR Kai looks down and out here, and PSR will have to settle for the second row lockout. But what they will be hoping for is another double jump start.
Joseph, come on, don't make me cry. Well, I'm not gonna say anything yet. No points for quali, as you saw last week, quite evidently. So obviously, I'm happy. 1-2 for the team. PSR 3-4. Very close battle at the top. I think that's going to be good to watch in the race. VSR only got one car in the mix. Liam Bowman in P5. Looks like Egger just couldn't hook that quali lap up. Julian with the 5-place grid penalty for blocking his teammate or collision with his teammate. I don't know. But taking advice from us, you know, bottling as a whole team. 1 point for Pole Loveland. Oh, there we go. Makes all the difference. I didn't realise.
So that's now a 7-point championship lead. So
let's go.
The more the merrier, I suppose. But yeah, Shazoo just having an inter-team issue there, so I don't imagine there will be a cry for a restart. I didn't catch it. I don't know how you butcher it that bad.
Oh, anything's possible, Joseph. We saw last week.
Oh,
you know, shit happens.
Oh, am I saying this correctly? Down in the Haas garage, there are 2 pit crew members inside of each other. They're T-posing. It looks like there's 2 of them.
I think they're trying to recreate what's happened in quali. They are very close to each other. This could be why they got the grid penalty. They're just showing how close the 2 cars were.
Actually, they're all doing it.
What are they doing?
Only on ARC, AEC, Tier S. Sorry, I'm just mixing up. NRC, AEC, TTC, BBC.
It's everything.
ITV, Channel 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know how they make these problems. It was fine before. How has this happened?
I don't know how
the game never fails.
That could have been in the game for years.
It could, maybe they've never changed it and we're just idiots, but yeah, really showing their support for the team. Why is there only 2 as well? The team, no passion. Bring the whole team out. Come on.
While we're manifesting pit crews, it'd be great to hear your predictions in the live chat.
Yes.
Oh, Wexro's here. Oh, hello.
Loveland on the comms team. Yes, baby. It's been a while. I'm back. But I'm not gonna make any predictions because that's where it goes wrong. So non-biased perspective, as we have the countdown. I'm not sure if you told them to ready up. I'm not on my phone.
Yep.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Jack, shut up. Shut up, Jack. Sorry. Can't see the word 1-2. It gives me PTSD. But yeah. Here we go. I will let you call the start, of course.
With a bit of a snotty nose. I'm ready for it. Countdown is on. And the lights are on. All 5 on. Ahead of the drivers as we take on the Red Bull Ring at AEC.
One day.
And out, we're underway, and it was a huge wait for us in the commentary box, but away Rusty goes, away Levi goes, their jump start free, and it looks like Kai might lose the position around the outside to Liam Bowman, who's had to take to the escape rows. There's a a Haas wide there as well as Shazoo Julian, who's had the 5-place grid penalty in qualifying. His start not improving things so far. Down the inside goes an Alpine. That was always going to be a pinch. Trying to make it 3 wide there was Ogween. Chaos in the background. A few ghosted cars as the contact continues through turn 3.
Elite Risks has had an absolute shocking start. That's why you heard the bit of a shout from me there. And he's rear-ended Egger. And that is a bumper run. He's decided to let him go, so fair play. But Elite Risk started in P7, now running in P13. It's not looking too great for SLR. NRX. Oh, it's a spin. It's Patrick and Julian. It's not Julian's day.
Oh.
The poor guy. Hold on. Is that a VSC?
It's a virtual.
I'm kind of glad. Looks like we've got a pretty good gap out front. So I'm happy it's not a safety car. But very chaotic start, as you always expect in Austria. And big gainer is Sasha Andre from P15 into P11.
I'm sorry if there was a 60-second advert through that. It wasn't me who triggered it. It's just somebody trying to take your money. Again, not me. So I apologise if you missed that race start.
Yeah, Joseph's lying, guys. He's pocketing all this money. He's pocketing all this money.
I get 10p per stream. It's in the contract. No,
it's enough to feed the kids. You get a few bits of tempi. And we are green flag racing. Less about kids, more about racing. Looks like the two up front have broken DRS from Stonks, who is going to have to burn a lot of battery to try and keep up. But I imagine NRX will try all they can to pull away and break the DRS and drive off into the distance. But we have a DRS train, as it stands, from P3 down to P18, obviously when DRS is enabled.
Absolutely, and Stonks will be on the afterburners trying to keep within that 1 second. These laps tick around quickly, and before you know it, we'll be on the start of lap 3, where the drivers can start making the most of the 3 DRS zones around the Red Bull Ring, up into turn 1, 3 and 4, as we all know and love, and it looks close. So Stonks has got to get on the ERS here. Levi will be using it as well, not only to stick with Rusty, but to keep the Dutchman at bay. And Sasha Andre, who started on the medium compound of tyres, is already up into P9, slightly wide at the first corner, but his superior traction will do the job. Shazoo Julian, who indirectly triggered the virtual safety car, setting the fastest lap because he had the most clear track out of anyone.
Yep, I didn't realise Sasha was on the mediums. That does explain his great start. So good stuff for TIR. They're obviously going to have to pay for it later. Stonks has not been able to keep DRS. I think Levi's made a bit of a mistake there because it looked like he nearly rear-ended Rusty. And yes, Stonks is back into the 9/10 window. But the battery levels for the second, third and fourth place cars are much lower than that of Rusty. Rusty's just cruising along, just got back from Disneyland, and he's just pulling along the train at the moment, and Levi's trying everything he can to drop him out of DRS. He's burning everything he's got. So is Stonks, so is Kai. It's going to spread out at the front, I think, here, and Stonks once again hasn't got the DRS, and that's going to be crucial for the rest of this race.
Yes, could really decide the result for NRX this evening, and boy, do they need a result to reclaim the lead in the championship. Will Levi take over here? It looks unlikely because Rusty has so much ERS and he is just tugging him along nicely, but it looks like Stonks is now within a second, but at the expense of an empty battery. It's going to be tight. Levi was tight.
Yeah, Stonks didn't get DRS again. So close, but Levi did make a mistake into the hairpin, maybe just overdriving the car a bit, and he's now lost, well, he hasn't lost DRS, but he's got Stonks back into the window, and Stonks, that's his dream, because he's got no battery left. As Joe Murphy goes around the outside, there's a big crash!
Half pinched on the inside of Joe Murphy. More contact further behind. I think it might have been, I'm not quite sure who was tagged up in that, but Furious has certainly felt the effects. He had to take to the gravel. So BRT, who have been the story of the season so far, are finally seeing their good run. Damaged here slightly. Joe Murphy was the car involved, but he got away without any trouble. VSR Egger will surely be appealing that penalty. It looked like there were cars off the track still as they crashed into half. Whoa, controversy here on lap 5.
Yeah, oh, Liam Bowman's just made a massive mistake at turn 1 and he spun! VSR's race is all coming undone. The 5-second penalty and now a spin for Liam. I was just about to say, he's in such a good position. He's in the DRS train of the top 5 and he had the most battery of anyone. And he's just spun at turn 1. Such a shame for VSR. They were looking so good as there's a lot of action going on in the middle. Egger up to P9, overtakes Elite Risks, and now he's going to go for Ogween. He's got a tiny bit more battery. He's going to switch it to the outside. Try and make it clean, lads. Is he going to hang it round? No, Egger, the smart driver as ever, sitting in P9, knows that any point at the moment is very valuable considering what's just happened to Liam. And yeah, just carnage everywhere you look at the moment.
Absolutely, there could be more on the cards as Elite Risks and Rev Caterpillar go side by side. You can see the battle marks of Rev Caterpillar's Ferrari mud all over the side of that thing. Elite Risks is forced out wide. It was a perfect move from Rev Caterpillar down the inside to get back up into P10 in this race. PSR Stonks has now got back into the DRS, and so our top 4, NRX from PSR, Joe Murphy in 5th in sort of no man's land after that collision with Harv, which sees him down into P18. Oh, and another slide for Elite Risks, and through goes Furious.
Yep, there goes Furious, trying to, on the comeback drive from what happened at turn 4. I think Furious just got pinched on the inside by Harv, or whoever it was, or I don't even know who went round. I think it was Joe Furious. It's one of them, but Liam Bowman is not waiting around. He is driving. He's seeing red. He's seeing red, and he's back up to 15th place. It's going to take a lot to get back to where he was in the heights of P5, but if he qualified 5th, he's obviously got a bit better pace than the drivers here. So it'll be interesting to see how far he can get up the field. But it's looking like a full-on 2v2 here between NRX and PSR. So I'm absolutely here for it.
I'm still being blamed for adverts. It's not
Yep,
me.
they've just come up. I've seen that.
I'm not touching anything here, I promise. Goodness knows what's out. I'll try and sort it out so you don't have ads in the middle of the race, because that certainly wasn't happening last week. I only logged into the account an hour ago, so yeah, I don't know quite what's happening with that. However, we've got a bit of downtime in the race, but I don't think it will last too long. But yeah, it was Joe Murphy on the outside. However, on the inside of that is how the pinch happened. If the live chat was indeed wandering. A huge train in this midfield, led at the moment by Sasha Andre, all the way up into P6. If we have a look at the positions gained so far in this race, no surprise to see Sasha Andre is the biggest winner with 9 positions up.
Them tyres, though, they are going to start dropping off. And Allison and Ogween, they have the advantage of having 2 cars compared to everyone around them, so they can just tactically try and overtake Sasha and then leave him for dust and get away from Egger behind him. So TV8, Team Velour, they could be in a good position here if they can get past Sasha, well, sooner rather than later, because he has no battery either, and he's looking like he's starting to really struggle on them old mediums. So Allison and Ogween need to get a move on, use the ERS to their advantage and get up into the positions, because Joe Murphy just ahead is driving off into the distance.
Absolutely, and yeah, Joe Murphy has had 1 or 2 lonely races. This could be another one, but he might soon be greeted by a Mercedes in his rearview mirror. Again, all depending on how long those tyres last. But again, very much DRS train. At the moment, NRX would score the maximum. Is it 55 points?
Don't
56?
ask me questions, Joseph. I don't know.
This is where I bring up the point system, because I get so lost in all the different point systems.
Oh, there is a lot, I know. It's so hard to follow. But we wouldn't get actually full points because PSR Kai has stolen our fastest lap. So a consolation point at the moment for PSR. So we'll see if that changes come the medium stint. But it's looking good for us. I don't want to say anything, but I'd be pretty happy if the race ended on lap 9. But this isn't a 9-lap race, it's a 36-lap race, and it's a race of attrition, so it's going to be a great battle between PSR and NRX. First in the standings versus 4th, but only 26 points covering the top 4.
Absolutely. It's 56 points that NRX are scoring at the moment, which would be, I believe, the highest of anybody this season by a long, long stretch.
That would be nice.
2. And with a pole point to go with it. Here's a battle.
Yep, Liam's going for the move on Flo, just burning that battery. Flo not really using much, and Liam, oh, I thought he was going to send it there on Maris. Maris had a pretty good race as far as it goes. He's gone from 16th to 13th, scoring a few points for Shazoo, just to get them off that 0-point mark. Obviously, they have scored points in the previous 2 races, but that 5-point deduction towards the first stint of them being in the tournament, as Liam Bowman has another mistake. He is not feeling comfortable at the moment, and Flo's not even battling. He knows that it's a bit of a hazard at the moment to go near Liam, because he's not driving to the ability that we know he can, and throwing away some crucial points of ESR here. And with Joe Murphy up in 5th, Furious 11th, BRT could, if it stays like this. Oh my God, he's made another mistake. I can't even finish the sentence.
Again at turn 1. That's probably the 3rd time this evening we've seen that. And VSR Egger is having another go. Sorry, I was trying to flick between both battles, and VSR Egger still hasn't got the move done. There's contact on the exit, but a wheel spin there for Egger as I gasp for any air that wants to get into my lungs. But VSR Egger, will he have another go? No, he doesn't. There's probably 3 or 4 attempts he's had to try and get past, but maybe with that 5-second penalty, which he's got to serve in the pit lane, may I add.
I was just about to say that. Such a shame for Egger, because that is definitely, I think he got it from overtaking the spinning cars at turn 4, and he's going to have to serve it. And yeah, I've never agreed with that stupid rule, but I mean, the game's the game, as some would say. So yeah, he's going to have to firm it, take it on the chin. But I think VSR and whoever the engineers are for VSR know that they need to split up the Team Velour group, because they're just pulling each other along in 7th and 8th. And we've had another spin.
And that is Elite Risks at the final corner. And it's unravelled for Elite Risks as well. He had a good qualifying, but he's down 12 positions in this race. Half down, 11 through no fault of his own. Liam Bowman down 10 through a couple of spins. So, yeah, drivers who had really good qualifying sessions just not quite bringing it to the table in this race for various reasons. Meanwhile, that Sasha Andre gap has stayed at about 1.6 seconds, so won't be seeing too much action up there. But I think it's quite important, this VSR Egger battle. He's now the lead VSR man, second place team in the championship. It's all about damage limitation now.
Yeah, they really need a couple points on the board. I mean, if he was to pit now and serve that 5 second, it would drop him down in that battle between Flo, Race Roller and Liam. So I would have to say Egger's currently net P13 at best. So it's really, really difficult day for VSR. But every team has these days. It's about how you come back from them, believe me, I know. So hopefully their confidence isn't knocked and maybe they can still come back in this race. There's always time for a late safety car, which would spice up the action quite a lot. But yeah, not looking too great for VSR at the moment.
Absolutely, and Furious has had a good run out of turn one, close right up to the back of Rev Caterpillar. He might fancy his chances on the exit of turn number 3. And he is using a little bit of battery, but I don't think it will be enough.
Yeah, if anyone cares about the midfield battles, because it's always nice to have a good midfield battle. With Sasha in P6 at the moment, that is some good points for TIR in their battle with FGE for P8 in the standings. So obviously Sasha's going to be a huge disadvantage for the rest of this race. I mean, he's got less battery on the, you'd have to say, worst strategy, but he's really made a great start to this race. We can't argue that. You have to keep it clean, you have to make the moves, and he's done exactly that. So TIR will be very happy with his performance so far. He's not really losing time to Joe Murphy either, and at this point the tyres will start to go off as Julian gets a free second, just compounding the difficult day for Julian. It's a shame to see, but yeah, good battle for P8 in the standings at the moment.
Here we go with Furious. He's pulled to the left-hand side, but he's now out of the slipstream. He's running out of VRS as well. It's got to be now or never for Furious as he tries to go with the long way round, but braking on that outside curb is always a challenge. He'll have another go though, because Rev Caterpillar is not quite having the full effect of the slipstream in front of him, but through using a bit of ERS himself. Oh, he's gone very deep into the corner. Almost tags VSR Egger in the process. Furious says thank you very much. Tries in switchbacks. He'll go around the outside, might turn it into another switchback, but he's going to hold it. It is the Brit. He's going to go the long way round again into turn number 7. Can he get it done this time? Oh, Rev Caterpillar is around. A bit of contact.
I didn't see what happened there. I don't know. I was on board with Furious. I'm not sure if there was contact, but I think that could have just been a spin. We'll have to get some information from whoever FRT is in the chat. I don't know what happened there, but that was going to be such a good battle. But it just all comes undone. It seems like a common trend on Xbox. It's very hard to have a clean battle. I just complimented him, and he's got a 3-second time penalty. And he's now lost the position to Allison. So Allison is unleashed on Joe Murphy, and I reckon he's got a bit more battery than the BRT driver, so it's now Allison's time to shine. Going to have to use that battery to full effect and try and get into the top 5, which he'll be very happy with.
Yeah, based on the angles I've had, it looks like the FRT incidents are both in racing incidents and both involving BRT and FRT, so yeah, they just can't escape it at the moment. But FRT Harv trying to make his way back up the order.
Oh, wow.
As is Liam Bowman, of course. And they're really going at it. Not the first time they've changed positions on this lap. Liam Bowman around the outside. Can Harv keep it clean this time? Still on the inside at turn 7, where we've just seen Rev Caterpillar have a spin. They come into shot now. Still alongside each other. Slides for both drivers. Almost Harv having nowhere to go. What a brilliant battle for 14th place.
Yeah, that was really good. Liam was ultra aggressive in turn 5, and oh no, he's had another moment. It feels like every time I talk about him, something goes wrong. So I'm just going to stop talking about him. And Sasha, no, Sasha's gone. He's spun. All that hard work on the mediums has come undone. The 3-second penalty, now the spin. Everyone I talk about seems to just, I don't know. I've got some curse. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm just going to stop talking.
That is a shame for Sasha Andre. In order to make that medium hard strategy work, he had to get that back into the pit lane in one piece. Unfortunately, his race slowly unravelling as he's now down into P12 and on almost worn tyres out of everybody. It's going to be hard to keep Race Roller at bay for P13. Indeed, up the marinas. I keep getting like advert things come up, so I don't know if it's still playing adverts. If it is, let me know as soon as possible, and I will fix that, genuinely.
Race Roller also passing Sasha Andre, and they're going to go side by side, I believe. Oh, didn't quite catch what happened. I'm sure you did.
Tried to go around the outside at the penultimate corner. If that paid off, move of the season. But again, another slide for Sasha Andre. He's really struggling now. Won't be long. Perhaps this lap he'll come into the pit lane.
I'll get Stonks in.
Oh,
hold on. Never type so quick. Yeah, that's. Oh dear.
I'll ping him one as well because
I've got it. Send one for good measure anyway. That is. I don't know. It's bittersweet. I'm obviously happy you got a 1-2 and now broke DRS, but that's not the way you want to do it, is it?
Kai takes command for PSR, and it looks like that DRS train will be split up ever so slightly, and that 95 AI for Stonks.
Yeah, I feel like we've been robbed of a good battle, to be honest. Obviously, I'm not going to complain of a 1-2, but everyone was in the train. It could have been a really good race, but yeah, that's just not great.
Not a lot in it for DRS. Has Kai got it? No, he hasn't. And that looks like a huge barricade now for PSR to try and get back into this one. It needs to be a huge final sector from PSR. Kai, has Stonks got back in? It looks like he might have, but sometimes you can get freezing cold tyres when you rejoin the lobby. I had that once. I disconnected on the final lap of a race. It was a few seconds in the lead on penalties. I only just won because I was fighting for traction out of the final corner in France with tyres at absolute zero. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's really not. Ben just said in the chat, Oliver's desk has just raised 3 inches. I would say 1 inch because it's bittersweet. Not quite 3 inches, Ben. 1 inch I'll give you. But yeah. Let's go down to the midfield. Looks like FG Flow is man on the mission at the moment. Started P14, just behind Shazam Maris, who's also had a good start. As I think we've got our first hard runners coming into pits because Race Roller is going to try a bit of a mean undercut here. I think we did see one pit stop from Sasha, but that was onto the hards. And Race Roller and Liam into the pits. Liam with 2 3-second penalties, which is not ideal for the VSR driver. But here we go. This is where the fun begins.
It is where the fun begins, and will anybody take inspiration from these pit stops on this lap? Rusty already into Sector 2, so it won't be long before we see the NRX duo make a decision. TVA, Allgreen and Egger finally going back at it. Egger's had a few attempts already in this race. The latest still yet to be successful, and VSR Egger still confined to that 8th place with the 5-second time penalty. Can he try and split up the 2 TV8 boys? Because obviously they're a long way back in the championship. They don't want to just be handing out points willy-nilly. They don't want to be letting them push on in this race. And as we've seen there, an example of the pit lane rule for this evening. Do what you want as long as you don't go on the black stuff and blatantly cut it.
It was a bit scary there. I thought he was going to hit the back of him, so I guess that is why rules are in place usually, but didn't seem too bad. And did Egger get DRS to Allison? Just about. Allison's going to have to try and... Oh, he's not even burning, so he's happy to just pull Egger along. But let's see where Race Rollers come out in comparison to Ogween, because he did go for a big undercut. See how much he's gained from it. Ogween's already out of the pit lane, so not really the race he's after. But will Race Roller jump Half? I'll tell you what, it's going to be really close on exit, because Half's going to have cold tyres. Race Roller, they're going to be absolutely neck and neck coming out the pit lane. He's going to have no DRS, so this is all down to energy. Half got this energy advantage. Is he going to go for a move early, or is he going to wait behind? He's going to wait behind, get them tyres up to temperature. Smart driving from Half.
Yeah, would have been too much of a risk. Easy to lock up and maybe hit his rival there up into turn 3, but he's got a pretty bit of straight line speed.
Wow.
That is a rocket ship of the Ferrari.
Oh,
Aerodynamics is for those that can't build engines.
I think we
And
just
that
got
is
a
a
bit of
brilliant
the
example.
2019 Ferrari there. It just absolutely
Wow.
took off. And Joe Murphy into the pits, as well as Shazoo Maris.
Yeah, Joe Murphy was on his own for a bit. I don't think he's too threatened of an undercut. His closest competitor was Sasha Andre, who never really got close. Shazoo Maris, Rev Caterpillar, Liam Harbin all into the pits as well for their respective teams. Onto the mediums they all go. Lap 20 of this Austrian Grand Prix. If you're just joining in, NRX front row lockout led the way as they were. And another battle here on the exit. I'm just going to interrupt myself. That's Sasha Andre going extremely wide, and the 3 will funnel out. Shazoo Maris might repeat what Harv just did 1 lap ago.
Oh, go on, Race Roller. Race Roller's going to try it round the outside. It'd be an incredible move if he could pull this off. He's given very minimal room, but that is just enough racing room. Maris, that's hard but fair, unfortunately, and Race Roller's going to have to settle for P14 with Sasha behind him on them hard tyres. But Harv can't catch a break. He's near everyone on the pit exit, so tough. Oh, Kai's going for an undercut as well. Allison also pitting. It looks like everyone's starting to pit now. We've only got, I believe, 6 cars who haven't made their pit stops. Oh, now it's 5. So I think in the next 2 laps, I think everyone will be into the pits. As Shazoo Maris picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, and a great point made. Harv was 15th. He's now up
Oh, wow.
into 12th, and it will soon be 11th when Elite Risks makes his pit stop. Maybe even Furious as well. He might be in range of that. It's a fastest lap for Harv in this race as he's up now into P11, P10 as we see. Will soon be P9. So Harv, who had that, I'd say, very unfortunate incident early on in this race, is fighting back in some style. I said earlier he was capable of it. He's showing us why. VSR Egger down the inside of Shazoo Maris, a battle for 11th place. He served that 5-second penalty now, Egger. It's a weight off his shoulders in his race. But what a switchback from Shazoo Maris.
Yeah, that was a really good move from Maris on the warmed up tyres. Egger just a bit cold tyres as we've got him moving the back. FG Flow, or he bodges into the side of Sasha after losing the rear. Might be a report coming their way for TAR for a bump and run, but didn't look too bad. Levi and Furious into the pit, so let's see how powerful this undercut was for Kai. He's burnt every bit of energy possible, down to 2% now, and if he has a good first corner, he might be in the DRS of Levi. He absolutely will not. Very close, very close.
All eyes on our race leader then, and PSR Stonks, who I was going to mention had that disconnect which brought him and PSR out of DRS, just completely disrupted their entire race plan, you know, being 3rd and 4th to NRX 1 and 2, and Kai is completely out of ERS, 0%, and it's that Patrick Leger who's gone around at the final corner. He's dangerously close to being lapped in this race. It's a total disaster for the FGE driver. But here comes our race leader from start to finish, NRX Rusty into the pit lane.
Yep, getting off them old hard tyres. Going to have slightly fresher tyres than Levi and Kai. Shazoo Julian picking up another 3-second time penalty. Will Stonk... Oh no, Stonks is the front end of the pit lane. Thought there might be a bit of holding up in the pits, but nope. All good, clean as you like. Rusty exits the pit lane. It'll be interesting to see if Levi and Kai have made any inroads, because I think Kai had DRS. I might be wrong. He's right on the cusp of it. He doesn't quite have it. So Levi's going to have to get a move on here, because at the moment he's going to get DRS up this second straight, and it's going to be a bit of a tough task to break it, because Levi himself has burnt all his battery. Elite Risks also the last hard runner to pit in. He's dropped down right to the back of the field. Unlucky for Elite Risks. But yeah, looks like PSR Kai on 0%, but he's back in the DRS. So PSR will be very happy with that undercut.
Absolutely, and as it stands, I believe the championship leads from PSR to NRX, I think it will come down to about 8 points. That's just spicy off the top of my head. So it is going to get very close if the race finishes like this, and it almost just makes up for the fact it's been a bit of a stalemate out in front, but the midfield has been excellent, and with still about a third of this race to go, I don't think we're done just yet.
No, for sure. I mean, NRX, it's their race to lose, our race to lose. They've got the 2 cars to fight against Kai with, so just need to pull each other along. make sure Kai doesn't have an opportunity to go for a move. Someone who does have an opportunity to go for a move is FGE Flow, because he is 2 tenths behind Race Roller. Seems like the more comfortable driver at the moment, and he knows it because he's burning down the first straight, but he doesn't seem to have the straight line speed to back it up. So all will be about this first corner, and he goes slightly wide, but it's actually giving him a really nice exit. Can FGE Flow overtake the Aston Martin oh wow, look at that straight line speed. FGE Flow has no answer for that, so Race Roller will remain in P12.
Yeah, absolutely. Still just tightening up in that midfield. VSR Egger with just 2 tenths. He can get himself out of the pressure from behind. Harv, who currently has, he doesn't have the fastest lap. Ogui now has the fastest lap, so I must have missed that. But he had a brilliant outlap. Had a couple of laps to get himself back up into P9. But TV8, a really good race. 6th and 7th for sort of a new team on the block. Not been around long, but their impact to the community has been significant. Patrick Leger now out of the session. He was basically a lap down. He was a lap down when he pit, so it's unsurprising his race has come to an abrupt end.
Yeah, it was really strong on his debut in Spain. I think he got a P6 if I remember correctly, or around that area, so not quite living up to the expectations of Spain. But someone who has had actually quite a good race is Furious, because if you remember, he was caught up in that incident with at turn 3 or turn 4, and he's fought back to 8th, and now he's right on the back of Allison, I can't even say the name, and he's going to burn. He knows this is his opportunity, so into the slipstream. It will have to be a bit of a late lunge if he wants to go for it this lap. Smart thinking, though, doesn't go for it. Allison does go defensive, so Furious is just adding up all these things that Allison's doing. He knows where he's going to go defensive, and he's just calculating it to overtake on the coming laps.
Well, people could have seen that, but apparently the adverts have come on again, so I don't know who's fiddled around with this. I don't know who was doing it last night and thought, right, let's make some money today.
Terrible decision.
Oh, poor. We've turned into an England game from World Cup 2010 where they missed a goal.
Tell you what, I'm furious about that.
Oh, that's poor.
Sorry.
That's poor.
Look, not much is happening. I've got to make some entertainment. But now, he's going to go for the move. He's going to pull to the right. Allison goes defensive. Unbelievable straight line speed from the Alfa Romeo. And it's now BRT, TV8, BRT, TV8. So we've got 4 teams in the top 8. This is like real F1.
Absolutely. And BRT, 5th and 7th still. It's not been their cleanest race. They've been involved in you know, a few things. FRT will not like me saying that, but still 5th and 7th. 1 point in front of NRX going into this race. Obviously, they'll be well overtaken by the end of this one, but VSR having a poor race. This fight for 3rd could still be on with VSR. Yeah, it seems like when someone has a bad race, BRT are always there to put in a consistent result. It's very impressive. I think we saw Joe Murphy on the podium at Jeddah, and after that, it's just been consistently strong results, and it's putting them in a fight with the top dogs. So they're definitely an outside shot. And let's say PSR and NRX get into a tangle throughout this season, BRT need to be there to pick up the pieces, and they are. So it's a very exciting battle, and I don't want to say that they're the underdog, but I don't think anyone expected the title battle at the moment to be between PSR, VSR, NRX, and BRT. So props to them for being so consistent. Yeah, absolutely. That podium finish in Saudi Arabia was Joe Murphy's only podium of the season, since Furious has picked up 2 more. They're a team that sits 3rd and 4th in the Drivers' Championship with these 2 drivers. Which again is best of the rest, and that is going to keep on going this evening. Word from Noah, aka Blair Fox, rain in 10 to 15 minutes. Oh god. Is 10 minutes enough? I don't think so, but it's right on the bubble to keep an eye out on. If it's 15 minutes, definitely not. But 10 minutes, it could be a last lap, a wet last lap, which is basically dry on this game, so I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Absolutely, and Stonks is long gone, unfortunately. 5.5 seconds, but that just shows the power of DRS around Allison. Austria. Sorry, Allison's just gone for the move on Furious. Re-overtaken, but he's gone very deep, and Furious with an easy switchback. Allison just missing his braking point, maybe not judging it correctly with the DRS.
as Elite Risks gets a time penalty, and Furious also got the DRS there, so he could just pull away from Allison. Failed attempt there, but good to see that he's still trying to get that position back.
Yeah, he's trying desperately as well to get into the DRS of Ogween, and obviously Allison wants to prevent him from doing that, and it would be a bit of a nightmare having one BRT driver overtake 2 TV8 drivers, in which case you have to give a lot of credit to Furious. It's going to be close here. This is one of our most intriguing DRS battles in the entire race. That was very touch and go, and he got it! Oh. What a great bit of final sector driving. Oh, what?
Furious didn't get it.
Oh, it came up briefly.
For me, it didn't. He didn't have the wing open, and it's just going to cost him because he's also not close enough now. But he's got a mega run out of turn 1, and he's definitely going to be in the DRS. Look at the straight line speed of that BRT car. So, yeah, into the DRS now of Ogween, who has no ERS. And that's really going to hurt TV8 because now Furious is going to be setting up a move on Ogween rather than defending from behind. So, kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone with getting the DRS there, and this could be a BRT 5-6, which would be quite impressive considering the incident at the start.
3rd time's the charm. It came up with the countdown, the meter countdown for the DRS, and then it just didn't open. Wasn't there for him, but he got it in the end. I mean, Levi can sit behind with Rusty all he wants. Got plenty of ERS, both of them do. Kai very similar as well. Don't imagine too much drama between the top 3 unless Kai wants to go for it later on. But
don't say that, Joseph, because something's bound to happen. It always does towards the end of races. And our current luck, something's bound to happen. So I don't want to say anything just yet. But yeah, it's looking pretty stalemate, as you said up front. All similar ERS levels. Even Stonks in P4 has exactly the same ERS. So for now, don't really have to worry about the top 4. Someone we do need to worry about is Furious, because he's already looking at the back of Ogween. Opens the DRS, not burning anything, but neither is Ogween. So he knows the tactics. He knows Furious wants him to burn his ERS, and he's not gonna take the bait as Furious just follows him through. But I think maybe next lap Furious will be into P6.
Yeah, this is a really good battle brewing here, and the clouds brewing overhead. 15 minutes is now the ETA for the rain, so I think we'll get away without it. Battle further behind. Liam Bowman and Shazoo Julian wheel to wheel through turn 6. Who's going to come out on top? Liam Bowman backed out very quickly. He's been through a lot in this race. The last thing he wants is to cause a collision. Adds a little penalty onto VSR, who have already struggled in this race with a penalty for VSR Egger. What's Maris's pen? Let's take a look, actually. Those are the penalties for you. 3 seconds for Maris, 6 seconds for Julian, 3 for Liam Bowman, who will take that position, which perhaps indicates that he won't go for it, as Furious will go for it down the inside at turn 3. It's one I caught late. Got it, though. And he's up into P6.
Yeah, great move from Furious. And now we have 2 NRX, 2 PSR, 2 BRT, and 2 TV8. So very flying formation. Something I needed to get in there. Kai actually was pushing quite a lot that lap to try and overtake Levi. So I think Crispy on the engineering job's kind of telling him, look, if you don't get him now, they're just going to sit like this the whole race. So PSR eager to get a wedge in between Rusty and Levi. So maybe keep an eye on Kai just in the corner of your eye, because he's definitely looking racy.
They certainly don't want to throw a podium and indeed the championship lead away this evening. As it stands, they're safe by what I calculated was around 8 points, but can give or take 1 or 2 from that when the fastest laps are tallied up and whatnot. But yeah, it's Noah's Ark, which means not a lot is going to be happening. Though that gap between Furious and Ogween is still half a second, so there is plenty more room for battling in it for all to change. There'll be 4 laps to go when we cross the line in what has been a fairly clean Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, as far as Austria goes, it's not been too bad. I think we've had, what, 1 VSC, no safety cars, touch wood. There's actually quite a good battle going on for P15, which I believe is the last point scoring position, or it might be top 14. I'm terrible, aren't I? Absolutely terrible. But Liam and Julian have been battling for about 4 laps. They both have no ERS. It's been elbows completely out. Very good battling. Even if it's not for a point, they're giving it absolutely everything like it's for the win. So props to them, you know, not giving up when you're outside the points, not losing faith. Completely rate it. And at the moment, Liam Bowman will come out on top in that battle.
Yeah, top 14 receive points. So it only takes one driver to spin, and Liam Bowman has got something for his team, albeit the minimum amount of points you can score. Still, Levi sits 4/10 behind Rusty. It's been like that for many, many laps now. Obviously, the championship leader wants to score as many points as he can tonight, so is the instruction to just bring it home?
Well, I would, if I'm the engineer, I would tell, you know, don't take any risks, bring it home. I think even just driving casually, I think they can maybe hold off car. Oh, well. Now, ask me that question again. Now you bring it home.
With Kai having a 3-second penalty.
Now you bring it home. Now you absolutely bring it home. No risks at all. If Levi has to let Kai pass, he has to let Kai pass because he's going to get the position back anyway. I don't see how that can be removed unless there was a warning we don't know about. But yeah, that's not what PSR needed at all. And any hope they had of winning this race seems to have just faded away right in front of our eyes.
That looks like a 1-2 all but secured. He's just got to go for it. He's got 7.6 second buffer to his teammate.
He's absolutely
throw it down the inside, hope they spin.
Oh, he's spun. He's the spinner. Oh my goodness. You couldn't have timed that any better, Joseph. He's just caught it. Really good save from Kai. But see, I think he's frustrated, maybe over driving, and yeah, that's the punishment you get for over driving. It's just he's still kept DRS, but he has no battery to play with. I don't want to say anything, but 2 laps left. I'm praying to God that this race just stays like this.
Oh, and again another quick slide out of turn 1. FG Flow picking up a 3-second time penalty. Just another look at the penalties for you to see where we stack up in this race. A lot towards the lower end of the points and outside the points. So not a lot is going to change championship wise. But yeah, Kai's rather ruined this one. That's all I've got to say.
We've got FG Flow going for a move though on Race Roller. He's burning absolutely every bit of juice that car has. And he's going to have to switch it to the outside. Can he be later on the brakes? Sends Race Roller defensive. Going to go for the switchback. That is cheeky. He can't. Oh, Stonks gets a penalty as well. Furious and Ogween are battling. Sorry, Joseph. Everything's kicking off now. Furious just having to hold the inside. Can Ogween send it around the outside? Sends Furious a bit deep into the corner, but Furious holding on. I think this will be the battle, to be honest. The battle between TV8 and Furious. Because this is for, you'd have to say, the biggest points available of the battling cars. So we will stick on board with Ogween, and then I will give it to you for the final lap. Coming out the final corner, needs to get a good run out this final corner. He gets a decent one, and now it's all down to him. Can he make the move?
Yeah, 2 more DRS zones after the run up to the Nicky Lauda curve at turn 1. A time penalty for Egger. Could lose him a position actually to Race Roll, who could gain 3 on this final lap. And here comes Ogween on the final lap. Can he disrupt the Noah's Ark sequence? They're breaking, they're battling for the DRS. Oh, he's forced him wide. Furious off the track and will rejoin alongside, maybe even behind both TV8 drivers. A drag race into turn 4. Furious versus Allison. It's all come crashing down for Furious, who looked like he had P6 secured around the outsides. And again, he's off the track. 2 times in 2 corners, and half might go through. He's a long way back, but he's greeted by a whole load of gravel. His tyres will be dirty, so Furious has got to be careful. Meanwhile, the championship leader is back on top in the Artemis Esports Championship as NRX Rusty leads home a 1-2 for Nexus Racing Team, and that is a performance and a half.
Yep. Sorry, I had to send a quick little message in the NRX chat. Absolutely brilliant race. No mistakes. And considering what happened last week, 7 points from, you'd have to say 2 races, including the sprint. That is a great way to bounce back. and the battle at the top of the standings is absolutely on. So, yeah, bring it on.
What a race, and like I said, say it's around 8 points. I'm sure penalties and whatnot, I don't think there'll be any for the top 4, because they ran their own race, and it was fantastic. Driver of the day to Elite Risks. Lost a lot of positions off the start, but somehow accredited by the game. It does what it wants, doesn't it, the F1 game? And here are your final results. As it's an NRX 1-2 followed by a PSR 3-4, as it was from qualifying almost, with Stonks losing the position to his teammate. Never really recovered from that one. Joe Murphy with another brilliant top 5 finish for him. That could be. Let me have a look. Actually, that is his. I think that's his third of the season.
Yep.
There you go.
Very impressive. I think, considering it wasn't as crazy as we were saying, I think there's going to be a lot of reports. I think FRT are going to be very, very angry. BRT may be unhappy with the Ogwin and Allison incident on the last laps, but I think we're going to see a lot of changes to the final results in that midfield, because it seemed like there was a lot of crashes. And just a quick shout out to Race Roller, actually, and Maris, to be fair. P10 and P11 from 17th and 16th, respectively. So kept out of trouble. Good drive from them. But you're going to have to remind me, Joseph, what the next round is. But the battle at the top is definitely on.
Next week, we head to Hungary.
Ooh.
For our 4th race of 6 in our sort of European period. So I'm looking forward to that one. Jack Taylor predicted the 1-2, if you want to shout him out.
Yeah, well done, Jack. I told you to shut up because we're the kings of jinxing things. So I wanted you to shut up. But yeah, let's go. Very happy. They didn't put a foot wrong. And compared to other races that we've had, we've made a lot of mistakes, if I'm being honest. Thrown away lots of points in multiple tournaments. But that's a lovely way to bounce back. So yeah, over the moon.
Absolutely. I just wanted to thank everybody for watching this evening. Another thrilling night on and off the track. We'll try and get those adverts looked into, because I don't know what happened.
Yes.
Somebody's trying to make money. That's all is happening. But thank you to Loveland. Fairly late notice.
Yeah.
Offered yourself in, and
yeah. If I've got a free, if I'm not engineering, I'm always more than happy to jump in the comms box.
Pleasure. I need some vapor rub, I reckon, and it's in front of me.
Lovely.
Yeah. So I'll leave it there before I start applying it all over my chest.
Yes.
So take care.
Can we pray in the chat for Joseph?